Good girl.
Okay guys, so here is going to be Oreo's how-to video. The videos that I sent, I believe it was yesterday afternoon, were more broad, kind of how to work with your dog whenever you first get her home type thing. But I'm going to make it much more personal because your girl is very different from the dog that she had in that video. That was an Airedale that was close to a robot. She is not. So I'm going to be going over like little grooming and handling tips, how to create obedience to be a game, right? So we want obedience to be fun, first off, and then we want obedience to have rules. The more rules there are, the more fun the game is. Good girl, what? Good. So right here, good. She broke her contact, broke her focus off of the cats and looked at me. So anytime that she does that, if I see it in my peripheral vision, I'm gonna reward that because that's a good decision. Right now she's on place, good girl. Right now she's on place, so this is a really calm exercise. I want her to think that the floor is lava. She does. She has a very, 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 very good understanding of place. Let me just show you real quick. So while she's on place, as long as she doesn't step off, if she were to lay down right now, I would walk in and immediately reward that because she's showing more commitment to the place. Good girl. Good job. And she's getting maybe 10 kibble each time that I'm giving her a reward at this particular junction. Good girl. But now, I'm going to show y'all the intermittent phase. So with Oreo, she kind of wants a little kick in the pants. She kind of wants it to be like, hey, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Like if I were to play rough with her, she would get more riled up. So, hi, good girl. So I'm going to show y'all some of the intermittent phase real quick. Oh, good. Place. Good girl. So I can either reward her whenever she gets to the bed. Place. Down. I can either reward her when she gets to the bed, or like this, place. Good, before she gets there because she showed me the intent to go. Right now she's offering it. I may not reward that at the particular point in training that she's at, just because she's shown me several hundred times that she knows, hi. Now, one thing that I really want to go over with y'all about Oreo specifically, is grooming and handling. Place is honestly one of the coolest exercises for this because it's a boundary and the boundary is already very clear to Oreo, but I want to get to the point where I can reach down and grab a paw and I can look at this paw. She's not really going to put up a fight. She's kind of nibbling on me. The moment that she relaxes, I'm going to make a clicking noise with my mouth. Not so much this. This is a little too exciting. It's much louder. It's a little too exciting. But as soon as she relaxes and accepts the fact that I'm holding her paw and I'm not going to let go, I may squeeze it a little tight, kind of grab it around, may grab her back like this, whatever else. Good. That's what I want to see, and place is the perfect exercise to do this on, just because the boundaries are very clear, as well as she can make herself a little more comfortable, right? So right here, basically above the base of her tail, is the only area that she's still kind of nippy about. I mentioned that in an email earlier this week to Adam. But right here, okay. See right there, she relaxed. I want to see that, right? So now while she's also in place, I can hold her like a vet tech. Okay, so I can stand her up. Good. I can stand her up, kind of get on the place bed with her, and I can hold her like a vet tech. Good. Good girl. And just get her used to being handled like that. Honestly, the more work that you put into that, the overall better your dog is going to be around maybe a little grabby child or something like that. you have a big family event, everybody's kind of coming up and grabbing all of her extra loose skin, like I kind of like to do. Big girl. Then she's going to be more tolerant to that, and you won't ever have to worry as much about her biting someone. With as dominant as she was, and as intolerant as she was, kind of to just being handled, like right here, I can just grab and I can give her a full exam on her stomach and look at her paw pads. This is the type of behavior I want to see. She's calm for the most part. She's playing with the leash right now, but she's accepted it, right? It's not aversive. I'm not forcing her to do it, but this is the best place to be able to do it, and then you can move it onto the floor or onto a rug or onto a table outside or something like that. Get her used to this picture. I can come up and grab you. I can come up and grab you, and I can handle you. So then if you take her to the vet, you don't have to worry at all, nearly as much, I should say, about her biting one of the vet techs. Good girl. So now we're going to go back to the intermittent phase. Free. Good girl. So she kind of overcommits a little bit. She really wants, right now she's going back without me telling her. She really wants to stay on place. She really wants to stay in a down. She also really wants to stay in a sit, right? So if she starts to kind of overcommit, if I tell her free and she doesn't necessarily want to leave, that's fine. But in training, we kind of maybe need her to leave. So at which point, no e-collar stim, no anything like that. If she does end up leaving, if she finally commits, she's going to get a click and then a few kibble. Leaving is also something that's rewarding, either because I'm going to feed you, I'm going to love on you, something like that. That's important for her because she's just so perfect. Jess! So with her recall, here, it's going to be much more kibble. She's getting maybe half a handful right now. Here. Good girl. And she's going to get a click every time that you guys work a recall at home. Place. Here. And then throw them in like that. You may have her going to place. Then you may call her off. Here. Good. I'm also stimming with every command that I give her. Place. We'll go over the e-collar pretty heavily during your session because it's important to know how you're going to communicate with your dog from now on. But we'll go over this, but I am giving stim just about every command. At the phase that she's at right now, she went probably half of an outing because the e-collar transmitter fell out of my pocket or out of my little belt for the treat pouch. She went half a session without ever having e-collar stimulation, and she performed just as well. So sometimes you may not stim at all. Like right now on this recall, I might not stim. I'll tell y'all. But then on the next two commands, I may have her walking in heel past the bed. I may not stim her as I say heel. Here, so I stim there. So there was no stim right there with heel. Now, what I'm looking for in heel, number one is the placement of it. Good. And number two, she's looking at me like that. Good. That little prance is perfect. I love to see that because then she's happy to be there. Her eyes are up, they're focused on me, she's attentive. I don't ever so much have to worry about this dog taking off. Now, don't expect your 4.5-month-old puppy to not take off after a squirrel. She almost did the other day at the park. Yesterday, I think it was, and a bird. But because everything else has been so much more rewarding, she's kind of thought about it. She may have perked forward a little bit, and then all I did was turn around, start walking the other way, and then that was just enough to get her attention back on me. So it's little tricks like that. We'll go over that more in your guys' go-home session tomorrow. Good girl. But like right here, if she's in this down, she's offering it to me, I'm going to grab that loose skin. The base of her tail, right just between her back hips, is the place where she's least comfortable being handled. So focus on that area a lot. Focus on maybe throwing in a pinch. So I'm going to grab her front leg right here, and I'm going to act like I'm giving her a shot. I'm not pinching very hard. Place. I'm not pinching very hard. I'm just getting her used to this sensation. Right here, I may lift and I may pinch. I'm not pinching extremely hard. I'm not trying to hurt her, cause a lot of discomfort. But this way, it's a run-of-the-mill exercise. Except now it's in a vet's office, and now it's somebody else other than mom and dad handling it. See right there. Before, I'll be sure to send you guys a video of my dog Ryjan and I working on grooming and handling as well, because he's a really good example. He's very tolerant, and I put a lot of work in with him as a puppy, and this is honestly a really good age for you guys to do this. Hi, did you just give my hand? Yes. So while she's on place, if you have this in your backyard and you want to go from place to practicing your heel, you just have to walk by it. Heel. Heel. Yeah. Because she kind of overcommits to place, I'm going to reward her for leaving and coming to that general area for heel. Good. Good. That little prance. If she's giving me the engagement that I want, then I dance. It's like a dancing partner that one person's just there and the other is putting in a lot of effort to make it fun. I'm not going to put a lot of effort in to make it fun for her unless she's putting a lot of effort into me. Right? Good. Anytime that I say heel if I'm going to turn, she's getting stem. She's getting stem on the e-collar as a little bit of a warning, right? Especially if I'm turning away from her. If I'm turning into her, let me show you guys that real quick. My left foot, my left foot is her guide, right? So if I turn inside, my left foot is going to be the first instead of plant and then turn. That's much sharper, and it's also a lot harder for the dog to read. So right here. Good. That was beautiful. And she works around me, right? So if I need to take a sharper left turn, I absolutely can, right? It's not this super big left turn. Her obedience is still going to be very clean and very tight. Place. Good. But it's also just enough for her as a young puppy to get the idea. Anytime that I do this instead of this, where my left foot is the pivot, I'm going to turn leading with my left foot. So then it's much clearer, and anytime that she sees that as she gets older, and if you guys drill and drill and drill this, whenever y'all get home, it's just going to be second nature by then. Good girl. Good. Right there again. If you guys are out in public, take your training pouch. You may feel a little awkward the first few times, but it's never a bad idea, right? Good. Just a little tap on the top of her paw for that. It was a little hard for her, I think, to notice. She's not entirely aware of her body. But I can drop the leash and I can step away with the cats right there. Good. And anytime that she gives me that extra effort, I'm going to reward that. If you guys are out in public and there are some kids walking by or another dog, I have a video that I'm going to get up of her this afternoon from her park session Wednesday evening. She was in a down next to two people that were asking me questions about her. Is this your dog? Is it a client dog? And their little Jack Russell was really wanting to come say hi. Oreo did phenomenal staying in that down and offering me a ton of eye contact and overall attention. So I'm never going to be mad about that much extra effort. She may not come across as social as you guys may want because she's more focused on what you are doing instead of what's going on around her. And that's a really, really, really good thing for a little 4.5 to 5 month old puppy to be doing. Good girl. So right here, at the end of your session, this one has probably gone a little long. At the end of your session, she gets everything, right? You want to keep sessions between 8 to 10 minutes. Set a timer on your phone and try to beat it. right? She came out with about 2 cups of food. We'll go over this a little bit more as well during your go home. She came out with about 2 cups of food in this treat pouch. Good girl. I'm not giving her a ton of food with each repetition, but it's never a bad idea to go back to her starting place, right? So I can have her on place, and I can play the intermittent game. She may or may not get food when she comes on place. She may get food after she goes into a down on place, or I may send her to place and then recall her off. The less patterned you are, the more your dog will actually know. And the more patterned you are, the more the dog will tell you, right? We come out of the door and we come out of the gate every single time. First thing I do is send her to place. The last 3 sessions that we've had, she's just walked over to it. I never realized that I did that until she told me that I did. So the less patterned your sessions are, number 1, the more interested she's going to be because she has to think. And number 2, the more you actually know that she understands the criteria and what you're asking of her. Yes. So little, quick bit more of the intermittent phase, just because she's kind of getting hot and I don't want her to lose that much extra focus. Here. Girl. Place. Here. And it doesn't have to be a super long recall. Place. See, she told me. Place. Good girl. So now I'm going to have her go to place and then SIT. Place. Good girl! Right? So because I did place in here twice, she's like, oh, I know what's coming. And then she started to look. She got a little stem. I told her place again. Oreo, here. Good girl! Good job. Place. Down. Good. They come up. Down. Down. Give her a little help with the leash. I'm not pulling on her. Down. Good. Okay? So I'm going to help as much as needed, as little as possible. I'm not going to use my body a whole lot. Your dog will also tell you how much you use your body because they won't actually understand the verbal cue. We've worked a lot on the verbal cue. We've worked a lot on everything that I can think of with her, just because she is, no. Oh, you're hot? Okay. This is fine. She's telling me that she's hot. And it's a black bed. Where was I? So, she is a phenomenal dog. The only downside to her is her dominance, and the more effort that you put into her handling, I'm gonna go inside after I let her rest and get some water in her, and I'll get a video of me doing her nails. It's gonna be on the place bed. I'm so sorry. It's gonna be on the place bed, and I'm gonna do her front and hopefully her back all in one session, and I'm gonna show you guys how I do that, and I'll send that to you as well, so that way you guys have a really good guideline to think about whenever you go home with her. But like I said, you have a phenomenal dog. She's very smart, she's very driven, she's awesome. And hi, she's adorable.